Cutting across to breaking news coming in at 5:30. It is a big offer that has been made by India to Pakistan as External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, who has just confirmed in the Rajya Sabha that India has offered to airlift students from Pakistan who are stuck in Wuhan affected by coronavirus. This is a big development coming in as India has made this offer to both Pakistan and the Maldives as well. India has made it very clear that if Pakistan requests India, then India is willing to airlift Pakistani students from Wuhan in the outbreak of coronavirus. Let's listen into that big statement made by External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar.
Embassy about 80 Indian students who are currently still in Wuhan. This includes 10 students who had come to the airport when the flights were sent, but who are running fever. And so the Chinese authorities, after screening, did not allow them to board the flight. But about 70 odd people also chose voluntarily to stay in Wuhan and not get evacuated in the two flights. I also would, sir, through you, like to assure the House and the families of the students that the embassy is in touch with all the students. We regularly monitor their welfare. Many honorable members have come to me with specific cases of which they are worried about, where their constituents have contacted them. So we continue to remain in touch with all the students and monitor their welfare. So while the House did rightly express appreciation for the tremendous effort which Air India has made,
Abhishek Kapoor, our executive editor, now joining us on the phone line. And well, Abhishek, above all animosity, India chooses to do what is right, and which is why India has made this big offer to Pakistan to airlift its students from Wuhan if Pakistan makes that offer. I beg your pardon, if Pakistan makes that request. But the question also being, will Pakistan do so?
Well, Suresh, we have always had a moral high ground beginning 1947-48 and 1971 when we so resoundingly defeated Pakistan and yet returned all of the 90,000 odd prisoners of war, and that continues. For example, during Kargil war, we gave back, or if they did not take back their body bags, we buried them with all honors that go with the rights. But what is important is this is a humanitarian crisis. We know also from all the voices that have emanated from Pakistani side, including from their president, that they do not have the resources to really evacuate their citizens, and they were kind of trying to justify that. So, taking heart for those poor students who got stuck there, India has made that offer. As the External Affairs Minister said in the Parliament, that this was done on humanitarian grounds, both for Pakistan and Maldives. In fact, in the case of Maldives, about 10 students have been evacuated, in fact. But so far as Pakistan is concerned, they have to kind of make a request. India has expressed its willingness to do so whenever they ask it.
Abhishek, stay on with us. Let's once again listen into that big statement that was made by External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, after which we come back to you.
about 80 Indian students who are currently still in Wuhan. This includes 10 students who had come to the airport when the flights were sent, but who are running fever. And so the Chinese authorities, after screening, did not allow them to board the flight. But about 70 odd people also chose voluntarily to stay in Wuhan and not get evacuated in the two flights. I also would, sir, through you, like to assure the House and the families of the students that the embassy is in touch with all the students. We regularly monitor their welfare. Many honorable members have come to me with specific cases of which they are worried about, where their constituents have contacted them. So we continue to remain in touch with all the students and monitor their welfare. So while the House did rightly express appreciation for the tremendous effort which Air India has made.
Abhishek, we once again heard that statement, and this just shows how India has made this huge humanitarian gesture towards Pakistan when it comes to offering to rescuing those students who are suffering in Wuhan. In fact, they had also put out that video where they had made an appeal to the government that the government must care for its own people, to bring out its own people at a time of crisis like this. But the government has not heard that, and India is willing to offer help.
Well, Suresha, most often these kind of evacuation operations are complex exercises. It involves multiple agencies, security, and the capacity to handle any fallout. And we have seen how over the last 1 week, Pakistan stands exposed in terms of not having the capacity, not only just to evacuate these citizens, but not having enough state capacity to, in terms of take care of any spread of coronavirus in case any of the Pakistani citizens there in Wuhan are infected. So that is the reason why, behind the fig leaf of religion, Pakistan has taken this subterfuge of not evacuating them, because A, they do not have the state capacity to carry out that kind of operation, and B, because again, they do not have the capacity to handle any fallout. In that scenario, for India to really make that offer, and also in the backdrop of whatever has happened in the last 6 months in terms of the Pakistani propaganda on Kashmir, it's a very large heart that has been shown by the Modi government, and External Affairs Minister Jaishankar essentially informing the House of whatever has been done in terms of projecting the image of India as a good humanitarian neighbor.
Sushant Sareen also joining us on the phone line. And well, Sushant, your reaction to this big announcement that has been made by External Affairs Minister, because this is exactly the point. When we talk about Pakistan, it is not just about the technical and logistical capacity, but as a government, one also has to have the heart to really care for its people. And India showing such a huge gesture at this point.
Well, frankly, I don't agree. If it's an enemy country, we should treat it like an enemy country. It's not our responsibility to rescue their citizens. Friendly countries like Maldives or any of the other neighboring countries, yes, if they request us or if we offer unilaterally and they accept that offer, that is par for the course, entirely the right thing to do. But when you're talking about a third-rate Islamophobic Islamic state like Pakistan, where the people hate you, they despise you, they want to do everything to hurt you and destroy your country, then I see no reason why we should make any kind of a gesture towards them. I have always been opposed to, this thing which we used to do of offering them medical treatment. I'm opposed to virtually everything that we do with these people until and unless they change their behavior, they change their attitude towards minorities, towards Hindus, towards India in general. And until that happens, I see no reason why we should make any kind of a gesture to them. After all, they are in the country of their best friend, higher than the Himalayas kind of friendship. So if they have to die out there out of coronavirus, probably they'll attain martyrdom in their own way. But I see no reason why we should bring them to India and then repatriate them to their homes. Absolutely not. So
Sushant, you can certainly have your own view on it. And yes, you're absolutely right. That is one way of looking at it. Having said that, no one can at this point deny that India has taken the higher moral ground here. And that is something that will always stay on the side of this government. For the moment, thank you for joining us once again. Listening to that statement that has been made by External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar.
About 80 Indian students who are currently still in Wuhan. This includes 10 students who had come to the airport when the flights were sent, but who are running fever. And so the Chinese authorities, after screening, did not allow them to board the flight. But about 70 odd people also chose voluntarily to stay in Wuhan and not get evacuated in the two flights. I also would, sir, through you, like to assure the House and the families of the students that the embassy is in touch with all the students. We regularly monitor their welfare. Many honorable members have come to me with specific cases of which they are worried about, where their constituents have contacted them. So we continue to remain in touch with all the students and monitor their welfare. So while the House did rightly express appreciation for the tremendous effort which Air India has made, regarding the question regarding Pakistan. At the time when our 2 flights were going, we had told all the students and the larger community in Wuhan that we were prepared not only to bring back our own people, but bring back all the people in our neighborhood who would like to come back.
Good.
So this was an offer which was made to all our neighbors. But